Okay, welcome back to MacBook Air Gaming. This is episode 8. Today we're going to take 3 quick looks at some PopCap games. We're going to start with Bejeweled 3. As always, we've got our Fraps frame rate going in the top right hand corner. And I've only played a little bit on this machine, so I haven't even unlocked all the modes on this install. Now, I don't think that it surprises anyone that this game will play, but I just wanted to post some video proof. So that the next time somebody asks on the forums, you can direct them here and say, look, it works. So we're in the low 50s. Everything's just dandy. There's really not much to see here. Perfectly playable. I've got the resolution set to high, 1024 by 768. It stretches to fill the screen. It's not native resolution. Native resolution for the screen is 1366 by 768, and that's actually not an option for this game. We can go to 1920 by 1200. Again, that's a 16 by 10 resolution, and the screen is 16 by 9, but it will scale. Okay, so now we're back in at the ultra resolution. You'll see that we haven't really had much of an effect on the frame rate, but we also haven't had much of an effect on the look of the game. So there's not really any reason to bother with the higher resolution, in my opinion. It's a fantastic game either way. I think Kotaku really got it right when they said that PopCap managed to improve the unimprovable. The most remarkable thing that I can say about Bejeweled 3 is that I gave it to both my father and my 7-year-old niece for Christmas, and it was an appropriate gift for both of them. Even Nintendo, which is a company that we often talk about, bringing in new audiences to gaming. Even Nintendo, I don't think, does as good a job as PopCap does for appealing to really everybody. I mean, it's such a ridiculously wide swath of the potential gaming populace. And so that's it for Bejeweled 3. I have to admit, despite all of my gushing over PopCap, and I really do at any opportunity, I never finished Bookworm Adventures Volume 2. Beat the hell out of the first one. And the second one came out, and I was very excited for it, and bought it, and then played it very, very little. This will be my first time attempting it on the MacBook Air. Yes, yes. Okay, apparently I have to go through a bit of a tutorial before it will let me. There we go. Full screen does not look like we can adjust the resolution, so 4:3 is what we're going to be stuck with. We're going to see that as well with Plants vs. Zombies in just a moment. Dear PopCap, I love you so much. Please let me make your games fill the damn screen. Sincerely, me. Credits don't care. Okay. So we're at 43, 42, 33. All the way down to 1 for just a second. Wonder what it was thinking about. Defeat your enemy before your health meter runs out. For yeah, I think that the likelihood of me managing to spell an actual really impressive word with tens of you watching is unlikely. Stoofed. Yeah, so anyway, it runs fine. Let's move on to Plants vs. Zombies, which is pretty much the best game that anybody has ever made. Now, like the rest of the internet, I am sad that they took out the Michael Jackson zombie when they updated to the Game of the Year edition. But we shall persevere. My parents are ridiculously addicted to this game. My mom and dad will take turns trying to beat each other's high score on the survival mode. And in fact, while I was home over Thanksgiving, their copy of Plants vs. Zombies wasn't working anymore, and I dug into it and finally figured out that my father's save game had gotten corrupted and was preventing the game from launching. And so I had to delete all of his progress, and he had to start a new game. And within 24 hours of me fixing it and setting that up, he had played through the entire campaign. This is a 60-year-old man who put in enough time with a video game to beat the entire campaign in less than 24 hours while doing all the other things that a 60-year-old man does, like napping in a chair, watching football, those sorts of things. So a little bit of chugging there on that initial pan across. Yeah, that. I actually never played this game nearly as much as my parents did. I did beat the campaign, and that was about it for me. I never did much of the Zen gardening, never really got heavy into the survival mode. Pretty much did the single player campaign through once, and that was it, and really enjoyed it. But my parents took devotion to PvZ to a level that I have never managed to match. They have some very advanced strategies on the best way to play this game. So we're hovering not quite at 60, but close enough as makes very little difference. But we don't have a lot going on just yet either. It's a shame that I haven't unlocked survival mode in this install yet, because that would be probably the easiest way to quickly get to some craziness. Okay, this is probably about as hectic as I can make it without spending a lot of time leveling up here, which is sad. You'll notice that our frame rate has dropped down to the high 30s. So it's possible that you get into the thick of the late game campaign or some of the survival mode stuff, and you could start to see it chug a bit. But on the other hand, this thing runs on the iPad. So surely it'll work? I don't know. Early game, certainly fine. If and when I ever get around to playing all the way through the campaign on the air, I will be sure to come back and do a quick revisit of some late game stuff and show you some of that. But for today, that's the end of our PopCap-tacular and the end of episode 8.